don't want to do either of those things.
Yeah, but if you had to, though.
I've been drinking a lot of coffee lately.
Ah, that's what it is. And you haven't slept for how many weeks?
37. Now I'm using alcohol to balance it out. That's how medicine works, right? You gain energy with coffee, you down yourself with alcohol, then you shoot yourself with some heroin.
Yeah, and then it sort of mediates you out.
Yeah.
I go for the whole cocaine and then heroin, because it's sort of, you're super energetic, and then...
You're a true drug connoisseur.
Oh yeah, only the finest. I have it laced with gold leaf.
People do that, don't they? Like, not specifically drugs, but people like... I've seen like stuff online about people putting gold flakes in their food and covering hot wings in gold, and I'm just thinking, what?
That's just incredibly pretentious and ridiculous. It's such a waste of money.
It's so pretentious, but also, surely that's unhealthy.
Well, yeah, it's bad for you.
A bunch of metal running around inside your stomach can't be good for you.
You know what it is? It's so that when they take a shit, they can look in the toilet bowl and it's all glittering, and they're like, "Oh, a golden nugget."
Then they take it out, buff it up, put it on the mantelpiece. I mean, I'm hoping you're already recording, because this is
gold.
Gold.
Literally.
This is some gold we're shitting out here.
There you go. We set the scene. We have a choice. We must decide on the correct answer. I'm Kyle.
Then I am Nathan.
And this is If You Had To, though. So, Nathan, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Yes. The snows are twinkling.
The snows are twinkling. Wait a minute. The snows are twinkling.
I'm sorry, I've had too much eggnog.
It sounds like it.
What even is that? Like, that's obviously just such a pure American thing. Like, is it eggs and whiskey? What the hell is it?
I know it's alcohol. The way I understand it is it's alcoholic custard.
I think there's like a non-alcoholic version that kids can have, but then there's alcoholic version that non-kids can have.
Isn't that just custard, though?
Is it just custard?
Custard with alcohol mixed in is eggnog. So, I think. I'm probably completely wrong. It's probably like Advocar or something.
What the hell is Advocar? That sounds like a medicine.
Have you ever had a snowball?
I've had a snowball in the eye, yes.
No, it's like a yellow drink.
No, I know what you mean. A yellow... Whoa, not yellow ice.
No, not yellow ice, no. Not yellow snow. A snowball is made from Advocar, lemonade, and lime juice, I think.
Ah.
But it's like a thick yellow stuff that's like custard.
So it's I know how I know how it works. Like when the clouds get full and all the custard falls out, and that's when you pick it up off the ground.
And you scoop it into a pail.
Yeah.
And you take it home and you knead it.
You're in your wheelbarrow as you're going up the hill in that Hovis advert.
And then you fall down and break your crown.
Your crown?
Your crown, yeah.
Who the hell do you think you are? The royal prince.
Like, yeah, the crown, like the crown of your head. But it does, like, as a kid, you listen to that nursery rhyme and you do think, is he just wearing a crown?
Wait, what nursery rhyme?
Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that. I knew about Jack and Jill. I've forgotten it said anything about a crown. I didn't realise Jack was the Prince of Wales. Wales?
He commands all the whales in the sea.
But also, he doesn't have a crown. Like, princes don't... Well, at least not in this country. Although...
Don't they?
They technically would, but I think they don't use them. Which, to be honest, seems like a waste. If I was a prince, I'd be wearing a crown all the time.
Oh yeah, I would wear a crown. I would wear all the jewellery. I'd have at least 3 rings on every finger.
I was literally just imagining like one of those gold chains that says "Thug Life" or something.
So, yeah, where's the crossover between royalty and gangster rapper?
I don't know. They're very similar. I've always thought so. It's why I always love listening to the Queen's speech as a right banger. That term's like 20 years out of date, isn't it? Or maybe it never even existed. I might have just invented it right now.
Yeah, I think that's just you.
I'm just thinking about sausages.
Another nursery rhyme: sausages in a pan.
How do you remember so many nursery rhymes? I've deliberately blocked out all my childhood memories.
I remember a lot of nursery rhymes, and I always
That's surely taking up space in your brain for facts that you need. You're probably like sitting down to eat, and then you think, "How do I pick up a fork? I can't remember." And then you just start eating your own hand.
and reciting Bar Bar Black Sheep because that's all I know. Oh, sorry, Bar Bar Rainbow Sheep.
Oh, did they actually do that?
I don't know. I don't know if that was like a myth of the internet that they made kids do that in school.
Because I do remember hearing about that so many years ago.
But I did have the idea at one point of just rewriting all nursery rhymes to be completely PC and so that not a single person in the entire universe will be offended.
Well, Jack and Jill couldn't have a tumble up on the hill anymore.
Oh, definitely not. Is a hill okay? Is there anyone offended by hills?
I mean, I think Jack and Jill were when they fell down it.
Yeah. So the hill was quite monstrous. So the hill is the villain of the piece.
Yes. Are you going to say that there shouldn't be villains in nursery rhymes? It should all be happy. Jack and Jill were two friends and everything went well. The end.
Is anyone offended by pails of water?
Oh, I have always hated pails of water. Ever since they murdered my family.
It was the demon that lived inside the pail, though.
No, it's water. That's why, ever since 20 years ago, I've never had a bath since.
And you only drink alcohol.
That's closer to the truth.
Because you're offended by water.
I have baths in alcohol.
Oh, you have baths in alcohol.
I was just that's extravagance. We were just talking because spoiler for the listeners at home. Me and Carl do sometimes talk outside of the podcast. I know it seems like a betrayal to you, but we do.
I think people know from the amount of tangents that we go on that this goes on for 8 hours after the podcast has finished recording. I think people know.
You say this is episode 5. Really, we're still recording from the first time we sat down. This has all just been one session. You just had to break it up to multiple episodes. We've been here for 5 months, Kyle.
I know, it's really hard because I've needed to go to the toilet for the past 3 months, but I haven't wanted to break the flow of the conversation, so...
No, you don't want to risk walking away as I say something monumentally important. It can happen any moment now.
It's already happened 50,000 times.
I've changed the course of human history 50,000 times, usually back and forth, so I don't know, I can't keep track if I've changed it or unchanged it at this point. It's like when you flick a light switch like if a light bulb goes out and then you flick the switch too many times, you can't tell if it's on or off.
You can't tell if it's on or off.
When the light bulb is gone, not when the light... You know what I mean.
I just imagine you walk into a room and start turning the light on and off, and then you stop at some point. You're like, damn, now I don't know whether it's on or off.
When the bulb is gone, not when the light is on. I can turn a light on and go, I can't tell if the light is on.
I'll have to bring a box of moths in, and if they fly towards it, then it's on. If not, damn, I'll have to get a new light bulb.
But then I walk into a room going, I can't see, it's pitch black in here, I can't see the moths. So how am I supposed to tell if the light is on?
You'll have to open the curtains or crash a big hole in your wall.
I've beaten you to it, Kyle. That was the first thing I did when I moved into my flat and signed my tenancy agreement. Fuck my landlord and her rule of not smashing holes in the wall. I'll do what I bloody hell want.
If you're renting a house from someone, you should be allowed... you are. It is in your right to smash a hole in the wall.
Did you just use the word nay?
I did, I'm a horse.
That was very dignified of you, Kyle.
So anyway, the premise of the show is that we... Yeah, should we get to that?
There was a premise? This whole time I just thought we were just talking.
Yeah, that's pretty much what a podcast is.
That is true. That is the first of our educational facts that we're giving out to our listeners.
That and the fact that I'm a horse.
Oh, yes.
So, the premise of the show is that we create scenarios for each other, resulting in 2 possible outcomes. We'll discuss each outcome's pros and cons and decide definitively on the correct answer.
100% scientifically proven by a group of technically not scientists,
No.
but they look smart. And I don't know how to finish that sentence. It's scientifically proven by a group of not scientists, is the point.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's not true.
No, that means
Just
it is
because
true.
it means it
It's been
definitely is true.
proven by a group of non-scientists. Have you not been listening to me?
Yeah, scientists don't know what they're talking about.
This homeless man I've invited in from the cold told me, and we're currently working on cold fusion technology.
And it is very cold outside because
Yes.
it is twinkling snow, did you say?
It is. It's twinkling snow. That's how cold it is. Because we're coming up to that magical time of year.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Everywhere you go.
Everywhere you go. If you went into a black hole, would it look like Christmas?
Yeah, they'll probably put up some decorations.
The black hole doesn't want to be too moody.
No. I mean, it'll at least put up some like little fairy lights.
I mean, he's destroying the entire galaxy and swallowing you whole. The least he can do is put on a bit of effort.
You want to see a Christmas tree or some ornaments or something before you die?
Yeah. I mean, it will be like the whole light switch situation. You can't see in a black hole, so you can't tell if the Christmas tree is on or not. That is my version of if a tree falls in the forest. If a Christmas tree is inside a black hole, is it on or off? No, that doesn't make sense.
Can you see it or not?
I mean, I'm pretty sure in a black hole it wouldn't be a tree anymore. I don't think anything inside of a black hole is the thing that it is anymore.
It was originally a tree, and as we know with every Christmas, it's the thought that counts.
Oh, you're right. Since it's a Christmas tree, the power of Christmas will protect it from a black hole.
Yes, exactly.
Santa Claus will punch the black hole.
He has many, many magical powers, Santa Claus. I thought I'd killed him on a previous episode, but apparently he's back and live and kicking.
And this time, it's personal.
It's personal.
Oh, I'm just thinking of Arnold Schwarzenegger as Santa Claus. The rocket-powered sled going into space fighting black holes.
With his robot reindeer.
This is $1 million idea movie, which in today's market isn't actually much money, apparently. $1 million doesn't get you as far as it used to, apparently.
No, especially not dollars.
Wait, dollars is more, isn't it?
Dollars is...
Well, it's less now, isn't it?
We've run the country into the ground, so yeah.
Which might actually work out for our benefit. If we go far enough into the ground, we might strike oil.
Yes.
That's the plan. All these naysayers who think that the country is diving off a cliff and committing political suicide, no. We're deliberately destroying our own economy and our country so that we can go further and further into the center of the earth and mine for oil.
Or gold.
Or gold. Or more people.
More people?
More people.
Molten people.
Or more people. Apparently there's not enough population in the country.
Yeah, the UK is way too underpopulated. Let's look for more people underground.
I mean, wouldn't that just be us digging to Australia? Inviting them back. We forgive you. You can come home.
We're digging a tunnel to Australia and bringing them back. Would that work? If the centre of the Earth wasn't like deadly lava, would we be able to just dig right through?
Yeah. I mean, let's ignore that hugely important fact. Then,
which is a fact. Add it to your book.
The big book of facts.
The big book of facts that everyone has who listens to this podcast. They should be up to fact number 46 now, I think.
Yes, and that's a fact. The fact that it's fact number 46 was a fact.
Add that to your book. I do hope that if this podcast ever does take off and people enjoy it and listen to it, that there is a fan out there who writes down every single ridiculous fact that we come up with.
I've just realised we haven't. we haven't.
No, we haven't.
Track of any of this.
That's what I mean. Like, if we did, then it would sort of negate the fact that the fact There we go. It would negate the fact. I'm ending the sentence there.
You've negated the fact. Oh my god.
So yeah, I do hope that in the future someone just makes a book of all of our facts
I
and
mean,
either sends it to us via email or just gets it straight out published.
my hope is slightly more realistic. My hope is just in the future someone will listen to this. That's it. That's my entire hope. We'll bury this in a time capsule in 5,000 years from. Oh my god, that would be amazing. Actually, if we can get all these podcasts into a time capsule, somehow have it survive for thousands of years after humanity's almost destroyed itself, and like a few survivors find it, will be all that's left. They'll think this is what humanity was like.
And they'll be like, right, there's no point carrying on. Let's just end it all. On with the show. Where did we get to conversation-wise?
Do we ever get anywhere conversation-wise? I don't think our conversations aren't a straight line. They're a spirally twister that goes upwards and downwards and in directions that don't even exist.
They go into fourth dimensions and then filter back out again as individual specks of dust that we try and cobble together into some kind of bread that we can knead and
Cobble together into some kind of bread.
I don't have a clue where I was going with that.
Is that what cobbling is? Cobbling's not bread. Cobbling's like wood, isn't it? Or metal. No, cobblers are for shoes. I just realised that's a fact.
There you go. Fact 48. Cobblers are for shoes. I'm sure there's something where a guy makes shoes out of 2 loaves of bread.
Is this another nursery rhyme?
It might be. There once was a man who made shoes out of bread. His name was Fred.
And now he's dead.
That's the entire nursery rhyme. I'm glad you remembered the ending.
I mean, it's memorable.
So Nathan.
Yes, Kyle.
Would it be fair to say that you've done some questionable things this year? That you've been, quite the bad egg.
I've been a bad egg. How dare you? I don't know what you could be possibly referring to.
I mean, you wolf whistled at a gangster's sister. You stole Mr. Winters' newspaper. You left poor Legs McBooty to drown.
I mean, I was really hoping you wouldn't bring that up again. I mean, that's a point. What kind of fun, happy, jolly thought exercise are we going to have today? Save a bus full of children or a boat filled with baby pandas?
Oh, I'm going to have to change it now. But no, you have been quite the rotter this year, haven't you?
I deny everything.
Well, it's because of this, Nathan, that unfortunately this year, you've made it onto the naughty list.
I've made it onto the naughty list.
You have made it onto the naughty list. Not that you know it yet. As far as you're concerned, you've been a saint. I don't really know who writes the naughty or nice list, whether it is Santa himself or Horace the elf. Or
Horace the Alf.
Horace the Alf.
Alf from the old 90s movie. Alf.
Of course, back to the 90s. So it's Christmas morning, and you're sitting under the tree, and you're opening all your Christmas presents, because you still got presents, because you're rich.
Of course.
Everyone knows that Santa will always deliver to rich kids, no matter how awful they've been.
I mean, of course. Santa is one of the 1%.
Yeah.
He lives in a bloody mansion in the North Pole, surrounded by child slaves.
Yeah, he's got to look after, his own kind.
Rich white men with white beards.
Yeah, the people who shit gold.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and you're one of those, so you still get the Christmas presents. So you're sitting under the tree, and you're opening all your presents. You got your new Tamagotchi.
Oh, I see how long this one until it dies. And then I've got my actual pet, which I end up neglecting so much because I'm playing with the Tamagotchi that the real animal dies.
That got dark. It's Christmas Day, you've got a new puppy. Oh, I've neglected it all day because I've been playing on my Tamagotchi and now it's dead.
I mean, you can add this to the naughty list. I've now killed a puppy.
Yeah, so you're just building this naughty list. Like,
at this point, now that I know that I'm on the naughty list, fuck it, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want.
No, you don't know. That's the thing. You think because you've got all the presents, you think I've not done anything wrong. I
Ah,
must have been great. So yeah, not only have you let a poor innocent woman drown,
allegedly.
you have now neglected a puppy to the point of death.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, you just said it.
I just said it. You
No,
can't prove it. It's not like you're recording this.
I am. I'm recording every word you
What?
say.
You never
Yes,
told me
that's
that.
that's what a podcast is.
No, I thought we were just. I thought we were friends and we were just hanging out.
Why do you think I do an intro every time?
Isn't that
Why
how
do you-
friends talk? I've never had one before.
What do you think this is?
I thought it was Kyle and Nathan's Happy Fun Hour.
No, I told you that's not the name for this show.
Again, show? I thought that's just what I call the hour when we meet up. But yes, so I am opening my presents with glee and joy. Unbeknownst. That's not the word. Unbeknownst. That's what we get for trying to pretend to be smart. Unknowing.
Without knowing it. Yeah, so you opened all your presents. You got Pokemon cards. What other 90s stuff is there that we can fit in?
Yo-yos.
Yo-yos, yeah.
Now, I don't know why I'd need more than one. I guess I could be doing tricks.
Yeah, you got one on each finger. So you're doing like 10 yo-yo tricks.
I'm trying to think of other 90s things. I mean,
Sea monkeys?
is that a 90s thing? I thought that's even older, isn't it?
It might be.
I mean, I'm thinking of Spider-Man and the X-Men, which is not really defined by the 90s, but I remember them being things in the 90s.
With sea monkeys, is that ethical to have sea monkeys because they're sold as a toy?
Are they actually living creatures?
I don't know if they're actually real living creatures.
Isn't it just a bunch of cardboard in a tank? Isn't that just what it is?
No, because we had them when we were kids, and they were like little creatures that swam around in this tank.
You had sea monkeys when you were a kid? God,
Yeah.
God, you had a privileged lifestyle. Me and my family, we couldn't afford any pets. We couldn't afford sea monkeys.
And every time you did get a pet, you'd just neglect it and it would die. They were these weird little, they looked like little seahorse type things, and they would just bob up and down. But they came in a packet, like a tiny, like they were freeze-dried eggs or whatever. Is that ethical? Yeah, is that it's like, is it a toy or is it an animal?
There's like someone has freeze-dried their eggs and then thrown them into a tank.
Yeah, it's weird.
Waiting for their baby to hatch.
It's like, and they put this in toy shops. Like, they still sell them.
You sound really concerned about this, Kyle. Like, this is a real problem in life. Of all the problems that we're dealing with as a society right now, where do you think sea monkeys factor in?
Probably number 1, number 2 priority.
Okay, that makes sense. You're right. I mean, I did just read on Twitter that a giant asteroid is going to destroy the Earth, but that's slightly underneath the problem of sea monkeys.
Yeah, like if the new running prime minister said, "Okay, I've got all these policies, but number 1, I'm going to sort out this sea monkey problem, and I am going to make sure that they're classified as a proper living animal, and they will not be sold to children as Christmas gifts that they're going to flush down the toilet the next day anyway."
I mean, again, isn't that just what you do with pets at Christmas? I've flushed many dogs down the toilet.
No, that's what you do. You and your neglectfulness of animals.
I mean, that's not even a neglect. If I flushed a dog down the toilet, that's dog murder.
You're just like, I'm done with this dog. You're just stuffing it down with a plunger, and your mum knocks on the door. Nathan, what are you doing in there? There's a lot
Occupied!
And the dog's just barking, asking for help. Just like, I'll be out in a minute, Mum.
I mean, this is the setup for a serial killer. But yes, sorry, you're winding up to some kind of point, I'm assuming.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious to everyone now that you're on the naughty list.
Why? Why would I be on the naughty list?
So you've opened your presents, you've had a lovely Christmas day, and you settle down to watch the latest Rankin Bass special when you hear a noise, a sort of a clatter up on the roof.
Ooh.
Yeah, but Santa's already been, because you've had your presents.
The ninjas. The Christmas ninjas.
Yeah. Who could it be? Who could it possibly be, you exclaim?
Are you reading out another nursery rhyme?
I'm making a new nursery rhyme. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all in the house,
And Nathan was a real bastard.
to even a mouse. Then just a shot of you stomping on a mouse. And then just smiling with glee.
The picture is me stomping on a mouse with 2 thumbs up, smiling towards the camera.
You're the Grinch. You've got that big Grinch smile that he does. When up on the roof, there was a sudden noise. I'm not going to rhyme. I'm not going to make it rhyme because we'll be here all night if I try. Yeah, and then there's like a shuffling down the chimney. And this gigantic black mass lands in your fireplace. And you turn and you look at it, and suddenly the entire room fills with darkness.
Have I turned the switch off too many times again? Quick, where's my box of moths?
You don't know whether it's the light or, what's happened. You feel like you've suddenly walked into a horror movie. And this big black mass starts to emerge from the fireplace, and it stands up and its head almost touches the ceiling. And it's this big horned monster.
You did say horned and not horny, right?
Oh, yeah. He's a little horny.
So he's a big horned monster, but he's a little horny monster as well.
Just a little bit horny.
Okay. Just to clarify, it's really important for the character. I've always thought so. As an aspiring writer, I've always thought it's important that every character, the audience needs to know just how horny that character is.
On a scale of 1 to 10,
yeah.
He's about 3. But you know who this is. You've read about him in books. This is the Krampus, obviously.
A Krampus? That sounds like a demon that makes you shit. Or prevents you from shitting, rather, I should say.
Yeah, that is exactly what the Krampus sounds like.
I mean, isn't that what it says in the Bible? And lo, the Krampus appeared, and everyone
became constipated. I mean, a lot of people do get constipated after Christmas dinner, so maybe that's the Krampus working in some way.
He works in mysterious ways.
On your bowels.
Unlike most Christmases where he's a hidden, mysterious force, now he and I are face to face. Or actually, because he's so tall, I'm more
face to crotch.
Face crotch?
Face to crotch.
Okay. I thought you were saying he has a face crotch. That would be very disconcerting.
Ugh. Maybe he does. Maybe it winks at you.
Oh my god!
But it doesn't say anything. It just winks at you. It's just this little ugly face. He doesn't have genitalia, just a little face. And he's got all these whips and chains, and he points at you and he says,
"So Nathan, for what you've done this year, you must be punished."
This is sounding rather kinky, to be honest, Carl. He's got chains. He's got whips.
Well, he is slightly horny, so.
Are you sure this isn't my gift on the nice list?
He actually says,
"You've been a very naughty boy this year, Nathan."
Oh, Jesus.
And then he presses the tape player that he brought with him, and it starts playing. And he can't exactly start stripping because he's already naked. He's just like this big mass of.
He's just peeling off his skin. This is how demons. They think this is how demons flirt. He thinks he's being sexy, but I'm actually just horrified as he's ripping his skin off again and again, blood flying all over my face. And he just thinks my screeches of horror of excitement.
Third animal mutilation. You must be loving this. Yeah. So anyway, he.
For what you've done this year, Nathan, I am going to punish you.
And he produces from thin air a golden platter done in, like Ferrero Rocher style pyramids. It's one of those, but it's of Brussels sprouts. And from his other hand, he produces a pint glass with a creamy liquid inside. And he says,
"You may choose. Either eat these 1,000 Brussels sprouts."
1,000? How big is this pyramid?
Oh, it's a big pyramid. It reaches the ceiling. His hands are huge. They take up the most of your front room.
Or drink 2 pints of brandy sauce.
And you are left with this dilemma now, so it's up to you what you do, but you have to do one of them. The Krampus has spoken.
I mean that is a real pickle there. Of all the things I thought a demon would say, or of all the tortures a demon would impart upon me, I didn't think.
He's got the whips, he's got the chains, but no.
But no, the torture is actually the Brussels sprouts or brandy. What brandy liquid?
Brandy sauce. Do you not know what brandy sauce is? It's a very rich, very creamy sauce that you put a tiny sparing amount on a Christmas pudding or maybe a minced pie.
Ah, I see. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Mince, yeah.
I'm glad you do, because otherwise we would have had to re-record this entire podcast.
To begin with, I didn't know what it was, but then when you described it as the thing that goes with mince pies, then I understood.
You knew the British tradition. That single spoonful that you have to put on every mince pie, as is tradition. So first of all, are you one of those people who absolutely hates Brussels sprouts, or are you just like, yeah, they're fine?
I've not had many Brussels sprouts, but no, I'm not particularly keen. I think I've mostly avoided them because of the stigma, but I have had them sometimes, and I can't even think. They mostly taste of like air. They're like a little ball of hot air. You bite into it, and it's like this squidgy sogginess, and then inside is hot air.
I'm going to go for another one of those frowned upon stances. I enjoy Brussels sprouts, and I would have them.
You are just such a controversial figure, Kyle.
I know. I'm shaking things up left and right.
Eating your Brussels sprouts while typing in Comic Sans.
I will do it all. I go against the grain.
This is a very surprising experience. Who's around me at this point, by the way? Is this my Christmas dinner?
Well, you've just settled down to watch TV, haven't you? So where are you usually at that point?
In my giant mansion, sitting alone while the orphans outside try to remind me that it's Christmas Day.
Oh, yes.
I've already said goodbye to the three ghosts. Now the devil has appeared.
You shouted outside of the window, "Boy, what day is it today?" "It's Christmas Day, sir, and would you be kind enough to buy the town a turkey?" And you just slam the window shut and shake your head.
No, then I go, "You want a turkey? Here!" And I throw a frozen turkey at the orphan boy's head.
Oh, so you've added murder of orphan to your bastard
I mean, I've
list.
killed 2 puppies and some sea monkeys. What's an orphan to the list? This is all your fault, Kyle. Last week you got me hooked on murder. Now I can't stop.
You just can't stop yourself.
Just walking down the street. It's like Saturday Night style. I'm walking down the street and everyone I point at dies. But the choice between Brussels sprouts or brandy, what did you say it was? Brandy sauce?
Brandy sauce. 2 pints of it, by the way.
I don't really know what that tastes like, to be honest. I don't think I've ever had it.
Think of something that's nice in a very small amount, but trying to drink it would be extremely sickly.
I'm trying to think of something that's nice in very small doses. Like, say, you. That's possibly the nicest thing I've ever said about you, Kyle.
That was very nice.
I mean, it doesn't sound... I'm guessing it's warm. It sounds like a hot liquid.
Yeah, I think it's tepid. It's not hot, it's not cold.
Oh.
Oh, you sounded very disappointed there. Like, oh, I might try brandy sauce this year. Oh, it's going to be tepid. No, never mind.
I mean, I'm usually ending up helping with the Christmas dinner, but I'll try and make brandy sauce. I need to figure out the ingredients. So there's brandy. There's eye of newt.
Mm-hmm.
Brussels sprout juice. Isn't that where you just grab Brussels sprouts and squeeze them so the juice comes out?
That's a lovely, refreshing drink, actually.
Imagining an advert with that. Like, it's, one of those classic TV adverts where, like, there's a beautiful woman behind the bar stirring brandy, eye of newt, and squeezing Brussels sprouts with her bare hands. In fact, she's doing that thing where you like you had to do in the olden days before you could cut an orange open. You had to like squeeze it in your armpit.
Is that a thing?
It's a thing I've seen on cartoons.
I've not even seen that in a cartoon. You must be watching some very obscure cartoons. You squeeze an orange in your armpit. Is this a genuine thing?
I mean, to be honest, I don't know. I think half my memories might be a hallucination. Like you, and having forgotten most of the facts you know because you're remembering nursery rhymes, I've forgotten most of the facts I've ever learned because I'm remembering things that never happened. But now I am confronted by a demon who is tormenting me with the most horrific of tortures, either drinking 2 glasses of tepid brandy sauce or...
Yeah.
Did you say 1,000 or 10,000?
1,000. No, he's not a monster. Well, he is a monster.
I mean, he's technically a monster.
Technically a monster, but no.
And I have to choose between these 2 punishments. I'm assuming if I didn't choose, he would pour the brandy down my throat while...
stuffing Brussels sprouts up your arse, yeah.
I mean, I was thinking up my nose, but you went straight to the arse. I mean, again, Carl, this is veering away from torture.
He's just doing it for kicks. He's gone up to 6 out of 10 horniness.
This would be like that episode of The Simpsons when Homer was in hell and like the demon was forcing him to eat donuts. But more. I think, upon reflection, I would have to go for the brandy sauce. Well, because 2 glasses, I'm assuming these are normal size glasses.
Pint glasses, yeah.
Pint glasses, okay, 2 pint glasses versus 1,000 Brussels sprouts. How long would it take to eat 1,000 Brussels sprouts?
You could probably eat one a second. They don't take very long to eat.
I suppose.
They're quite small. So yeah, I don't think it would take you very long, maybe a couple of hours.
But don't Brussels sprouts have a disastrous effect on your bowels?
Well, this is the Krampus.
That is true. Well, does brandy sauce have a similar impact?
I don't know. I don't even. You could possibly get drunk if you drink too much brandy sauce. I think there's only a trace amount in there.
Get drunk because brandy is in it. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
It's not just called brandy sauce. There's brandy in it, isn't it?
Yeah, I
think. That actually sounds kind of pleasant.
It's like a Bloody Mary doesn't have blood in it.
What?
That's
Bloody Mary. I've been making it all these years, and I thought you had to kill a Mary to make a Bloody Mary.
Wait a minute! I just need to add Mary to your naughty list.
Yeah. At home, the listeners have a book of facts. You have my big book of murders. But no, I think, upon reflection, drinking brandy sauce is the way to go.
Even though it would probably make you throw up.
The idea of eating 1,000 Brussels sprouts, not only does it sound like it'd be quite rough and disgusting and would have a really bad effect on me, it would take a ridiculously long amount of time. Like, I want to get this demon out of here so I can continue on with my Christmas killing animals. I've got the Tamagotchi tied to my yo-yo, so I'm just flinging it.
Oh god, you could kill 10 animals at a time with your 10 yo-yos.
It's my patented pet murder technology.
Do you remember any yo-yo moves from when yo-yos were big? I remember there was Cat's Cradle.
Yeah, that was one where you made it walk a bit, didn't you?
Yeah. No, that was Walking the Dog, I think. You wouldn't know about Walking the Dog. They don't last that long.
If there was a yo-yo move called Drowning the Dog.
There we go, new yo-yo move, Drowning the Dog.
I don't like this new dark path I've gone down.
No, I don't either.
But I've gone too far now, Kyle. There's no way back from this. I mean, this is like if in the new Star Wars movie, Kylo Ren suddenly turned around and was a good guy. He's already destroyed 10 planets. Like, you can't suddenly turn around and be a nice guy after that.
I just love the fact that this is the Christmas episode, and all we've talked about is drowning puppies. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Isn't there a Christmas movie with a dog that dies, or is that just a dog? Or is that just a dog movie? Old Yeller. Is that a Christmas movie?
I have no idea.
I think it's a Christmas. At the very least, I think the dog arrives on Christmas.
It's like Home Alone. Is that a Christmas movie because it's set at Christmas, but it's not really about Christmas? But you do watch Home Alone at Christmas time, so maybe I guess it is.
And Die Hard.
Yeah, the most Christmassy movie.
I mean, nothing says Christmas more than kicking a terrorist out of a window.
Exactly. So you're going for the brandy sauce.
I am, because I think eating 1,000 Brussels sprouts would be an arduous, long task, and I'm a busy man with a busy schedule. It may be Christmas Day for you peasants, but I'm a businessman. I need to get back to the boardroom and the numbers and other things that businessmen do, murdering
puppies.
Murdering puppies. I mean, I'm sure that's what businessmen do. They have enough money to get away with it. They have enough money to change the law that puppy murder doesn't count.
So yeah, you drink the 2 pints of brandy sauce, and the Krampus gives you a stern waggle of the finger, and then shoots back up the chimney and disappears from your life for another year at least.
I mean, I was going to say that for a demon, that was quite a lenient punishment. Just drink these 2 glasses, and then I'll be done with you, and you can go back to being an arsehole.
Yeah, but I mean, this is your first warning. I mean, if you carry on this path, next year things are going to get worse. So you might want to think about bucking your ideas up.
Like a buckaroo.
Like a buckaroo.
So Kyle.
Yes, Nathan.
It's time for me to tell you your tale. Your tale of woe and wonder at Christmas time. So it is a dark and stormy day. Howling winds and furious rain. It's very important that it's a day. Howling winds and furious rain and a little bit of snow. Howling. The snow is howling as well.
Snow is howling.
Yes. It was twinkling before, but now it's howling.
Yeah, it's gotten angry.
I mean, this is going back to our Santa Claus, to our Arnold Schwarzenegger as Santa Claus movie. He's shooting machine guns filled with icicles and snowflakes.
Oh, so he's basically just what's his name from the Batman film, but reskinned as Santa Claus.
Oh, Mr. Freeze.
Yeah. Mr. Freeze reskinned as Santa Claus.
I mean, Jesus, that's a disturbing image. I mean that explains how Santa Claus is back from the dead after you killing him. Someone took his skin and sewed it on top of themselves. I'm really glad that we chose to have this Christmas themed episode where we talk about dead puppies and skinning Santa Claus.
Oh, do you remember Mr. Frosty? That was a 90s toy. Maybe it was earlier.
Not really, no.
Mr. Frosty was where you would put ice into a snowman's head and make slush puppies.
Now. Yes, and it was transparent, wasn't it? Couldn't you see inside of it as the water filled up and it turned to ice?
No, you would put actual already formed ice into his head, push his hat down on top. His hat had like a pole on it.
Oh, and it came out with like the stuff you could eat. Slush puppy, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good Christmas toy. There you go, something nice. A nice memory.
I remember when I killed my first puppy using a Mr. Frosty.
He just rubbed the slush into its eyes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a part of Christmas as well somehow.
I mean, he was my first victim. But that's not interesting at all, how I murdered Jesus. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on from murdering Jesus. I don't think
anyone would be interested in that.
Yeah, like we were saying before, how we don't want to offend anyone. I don't think...
I mean, you don't want to offend anyone.
I don't want to offend anyone.
I've chosen to offend everyone.
Yeah, anyone who likes puppies, anyone who's religious in any way, anyone who enjoys Christmas. As I say, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
But so we're not talking about the most wonderful time of the year.
No, we're talking about the howling snow.
We're talking about a dark and stormy day with howling snow and furious rain.
Yes.
Lightning striking, and it's raining cats, dogs, lizards, and spiders. But you are at work in the kitchen, which is why it was important it was the day.
Oh, good. So animals aren't falling upon my head. That's good.
No, but you are working with animals. You are at work in the kitchen preparing one of your culinary experiments. Throwing
yes.
unicorn breast, fairy dust spices, stirring it in the blood of the innocent, and topping it up with a can of what it legally has to be called meat supplement. Meat supplement number 5.
You wouldn't believe how expensive real meat is. So meat supplement 1 through 30. It's all we've got stocked.
So you're in the middle of this experiment, like you're a mad scientist in the kitchen. Pots are boiling. Your worker elves are running around you trying to help, and you're smacking them away.
I want to be Santa too.
You're like a even more furious, angry version of Gordon Ramsay in the kitchen, swearing and cursing, which means the same thing in 2 different words. And
yeah, but it makes you sound like you're describing it better if you say it twice.
And saying cuss words and saying naughty words.
He was using his ears, and he was listening, and he was paying attention to what they were saying.
So all of this is happening. You are in your element as the culinary chef known worldwide. When in bursts Frankenstein's monster and a radioactive reindeer.
Again.
Well, it was your fault, Kyle. You shouldn't have dumped them both over text. It just wasn't very classy.
Wait a minute. I thought I was married to a bee lady. So I've been cheating on...
You've been stepping out on the bee lady. And, excuse me, she has a name.
or... Oh my... Beverly.
She's your wife, man.
No, I left her. She stung me too many times.
So the Cashewnade organisation has fallen apart.
It's fallen apart, and I've been going out dating again, and I went on a date with this Frankenstein and with the
Frankenstein's monster. This is why it didn't work out.
Sorry, yeah, I could never get that right. I was always saying, "Come on, how are you doing, Frankenstein?" And it was like,
"No,
Frankenstein's monster." Yeah, sorry. And the reindeer is radioactive, you said?
Radioactive reindeer. The best kind of reindeer.
That might be why I haven't been returning the calls, because I don't want to catch that.
You are so picky, Kyle. I've always said so. You're turning down these lepers, these radioactive reindeer.
My poor bee lady.
Yeah, it's like all those women.
Beverly.
It's like all these women that won't go out with me just because I'm covered in the blood of puppies.
That's how you bathe. You don't drink water. You just bathe in the blood of puppies. Oh, it makes sense now.
It all makes sense. Continuity.
Somehow.
But they have busted in on this experimental scene. Your emotions are high, and in the middle of this deeply emotional scene, in through the skylight bursts a lightning strike. You, Frankie's monster, and good old plutonium reindeer.
That's really insensitive, not giving this radioactive reindeer a name.
What is a radioactive? Well, you're the one that dated it. What was
Kevin, and use his full name, please.
Kevin Plutonium.
Exactly.
Okay, so you, Frankie's monster, and good old Kevin Plutonium are caught up in the explosive blast, because we all know you can't cook a good meal without nitroglycerin. This amazing scene is happening, and the lightning strikes in. I
imagine there's a lot of CGI used in this scene.
I mean, there isn't any CGI used, because this is all completely real, but if it was...
No, I mean in the film adaptation that's sure to come after this.
Oh, yeah. And it's in 3D, so you can see the Kevin Plutonium and Frankenstein's monster and you all in 3D, and the audience is aghast. They scream in horror at the horrifying visage coming towards them. and then you go away from the screen and they look at Frankenstein's monster.
Of course, yeah. I have been known to induce shock and paralysis in pretty much everyone I meet. Just to look upon me is to look upon death.
That almost sounded like a really dramatic line. Just to look upon me is to know fear. But yes, lightning strikes in, and there is a huge explosion, and you will never believe what has happened, Kyle.
What's happened?
Well,
put me out of misery.
It's your brains have swapped. It's the classic Freaky Friday Frankenstein reindeer scenario.
Oh, it's a classic Christmas movie. Okay,
Yes.
I'm with you.
So this is where your choice comes in, Kyle. You will either have your mind swapped with Frankenstein's monster or a radioactive reindeer. If you had the choice, what would be your choice?
Okay, so we've got Frankenstein's monster.
He's tall and lanky and yellow. Not many people know this.
Oh, he's yellow. I thought he was green.
No, I've read the book. It's one of the few books I've read. I feel very proud about this. I read it at uni.
Okay, so you're more clued in.
He's tall and weird looking and jaundiced looking, all patched together, different skin on top of other skin. And he's a bit more articulate than you'd think he would be. More romantic. He knows most words, but he's not that comfortable talking. But he is still he's still stitched together random pieces of skin. It's kind of rotting flesh because it's all dead flesh.
I mean, how long is this body going to last? Is it?
It's been around a couple of 100 years now. He probably had to stitch some other corpses onto himself.
So by murdering others or digging up the bodies of others and attaching the parts that I need to myself, I could theoretically live forever using this.
Exactly. But so that is Frankenstein's monster, a hideous, deformed creature, and Frankenstein's monster. And but there is the radioactive reindeer to consider, Kevin Plutonium.
Now, again, I want to ask, how long is this reindeer going to last? I mean, if it's radioactive...
Don't you know that's how Santa makes his reindeer fly? Like Frankenstein, it can survive... Basically, it's now living off of the radiation. So it's the half-life of the radiation is feeding it.
So it's like a mutant in Fallout, or...
It's like Godzilla, basically. It's a creature of radiation. I mean, I didn't mention this, but the reindeer does fire atomic breath.
Atomic breasts?
I did say breath, but if you want to be able to fire atomic breath,
I'm not quite sure what sort of attack that would be.
If you want to fire atomic lasers out of your breasts, straight out of your nipples, then you do you. I think you watched the porn version of Godzilla there. Sadly, I think that probably actually is a version.
Probably. Cockzilla.
No, you don't need to think of any of ideas, Carl. That's it. That is definitely it.
So what you're telling me here is that I can be one of two monsters.
Yes.
How big is the reindeer? Just reindeer sized, or is it grown through the radiation?
Yes, it's not giant. It's reindeer sized, but it is glowing. It is, it can fire lasers, but it's very difficult for anyone to get close. It's part of why your relationship didn't work out, Carl, is anyone it comes into contact with gets radiation poisoning and dies.
I see. That's why I was so standoffish.
Yeah, you had to be wearing a radiation suit at all times.
And it's weird because we were only doing it through Skype, so.
And you're a weird, kinky man, Carl. So you were wearing your radiation suit, and you were wearing a giant teddy bear outfit on top of that.
There's nothing quite like getting into a big furry costume, and just thinking about it just makes me so happy. That is a Christmas treat in and of itself. I
mean, people can't say this Christmas themed episode is
this Christmas themed episode with Frankenstein's monster in it. You've said that the reindeer has atomic breath, which would be a good superpower, and obviously I can fly.
But it would make it difficult for you to live your normal life. You can't really get near anyone without people dying. Heat is emerging off of you, so any room you enter starts to melt and burn and catch fire.
I do like rooms.
Rooms are good. Rooms are very good. But don't forget that it's not just you taking over their body. They would take over yours.
Ah, okay.
It's like Freaky Friday. You would have to live the reindeer's life or Frankenstein monster's life, and they would be living your life.
But there's no happy resolution at the end where we get our bodies back and we've both learned things. It's just you're stuck like that for life.
I mean, I don't remember that being how the movies end. Don't the movies end with the women murdering each other?
What is it with you and murder today? On this holiest of episodes, this festive and lovely and Christmassy of all episodes, you decide to go full on with your whole murder thing.
It's the most bloody time of the year.
It is. It rains blood.
And the blood is howling.
So Frankenstein doesn't have any powers, but...
You can shoot him, you can stab him, he just won't die. He's already dead.
I think I'm going to have to go for Frankenstein's monster then, because I don't think that...
Which one of them do you think would have a better job living your life? I know you've broken up with Beverly the Bee Woman, you've broken up with Frankenstein's monster, and radioactive Ralph. What was his name?
Kevin
Plutonium.
Going anywhere as the radioactive reindeer, I would just melt the rooms or any place that I was going near. So, and all the people, you wouldn't be able to talk to them or anything. So it's just sort of a non-starter. But with the Frankenstein, obviously there's going to be all that weirdness of, oh God, you're slightly more hideous than you were.
I mean...
but no, thinking about it a little harder, I've swapped places with Frankenstein's monster. I've decided this, but that means that Frankenstein's monster is inside my body.
Yes.
And who do I find more attractive than myself? I could start dating Frankenstein's monster inside my body, but with the added bonus that, hey, he looks exactly like me, who I find to be the most attractive person I know.
I mean, dear God, that is the most disturbing image I've ever had. I'm more terrified of this than I was of the demon that appeared in my living room.
I say that once the divorce papers come through from Beverly, me and Frankenstein's monster in my body and me and Frankenstein's monster's body are going to get together. I'm going to propose probably almost instantly in that kitchen, screw the concoction I was making, get down on one knee.
I mean, it's dead at this point. Meat supplement number 5 is ruined.
Yeah, it's boiled over. It's gone black. It's gone.
Well, it started off black, but now it's gone.
Now the kitchen's just on fire. He's had to carry. I've had to carry him out. I've had to carry my own body out.
Is it really romantic? Is it really romantic music playing as you're carrying? Because I'm imagining, the building's on fire. You're carrying your own body out of the building.
It's one of those where I'm running like Baywatch style with my own body, but there's a big explosion behind me. It's very cinematic.
You have 5 different hairstyles on your head, and as you're running in slow motion with the wind howling through that hair.
The snow is howling. But yeah, the more you describe this, the more glad I am I went with the Frankenstein's monster choice.
It allows you to finally end up with the one that you've always loved. Your true soulmate, yourself. Yes,
and that
is the true meaning of Christmas.
You got there just before me.
This Christmas-themed episode was sponsored by the letter M for murder. Did we get to the end? So, yeah, you've definitely decided that you want to be in love with yourself.
Yeah, that's it. I've walked off into the sunset with me in my arm.
I'm pouring brandy juice down my face.
Yep, you've done that, and you've sent old Krampus on his way for another year.
I'm passed out in my living room,
drunk on brandy sauce. Puppy's dead all around you.
While you are having a lovely, romantic, intimate moment with yourself.
Yeah, we're sitting on a beach now, looking at the sunset as Christmas Day ends.
Aren't you watching the fire, the fire from the building?
Yeah, we're watching it like a sunset.
This is where you worked, Carl. Aren't you watching all of your co-workers burn to death?
Yeah, but with this new Frankenstein's body and this new love of mine, this new lease on life. I can't seem to make myself care. And
as they're screaming, "For the love of God, help us, Kyle!" And you're going,
we're just staring at the fire as if it's a beautiful sunset. And the camera pulls away, fades to black.
that's the end of the Christmas movie. The Christmas movie based on your life ends with a building burning down. You in Frankenstein's monster's body and Frankenstein's monster's mind in your body, making out in a disgusting display of PDA. And then, the circle comes over and it says "the end." It will be a classic Christmas movie for all the family to see for years to come.
And then the end credits play Uptown Girl. Yeah, directed by Michael Bay.
Oh, now I'm just imagining you and Frankenstein's monster making out. There's a burning building, and then suddenly the sun explodes.
Pan out a bit further, there's a bunch of aliens and a spaceship, just to show how great his CGI is.
Nothing in the story had anything to do with that up until this point. It was just a personal, intimate story about your life and your relationship issues. And it's resolved in this beautiful romantic scene. And then suddenly, aliens, Transformers, Godzilla, probably bloody Cockzilla has turned up as well. I mean, Arnie Schwarzenegger, the Santa Claus, is using his icicle machine gun to destroy the alien spaceships.
Freeze ice holes.
I mean, that is probably the best idea either of us have ever had.
What, that film?
Yes.
That's what. Yeah, coming to you, 2020. What should we call this masterpiece of a film?
I'm trying to think. It's difficult to sum this up with any one word or phrase.
Because, you've got Bride of Frankenstein, but that's not quite right, because it's like yourself as Frankenstein marrying yourself. How do you sum that up into a title?
Bride of Frankenstein in Kyle's body. Colon.
What, just colon. Colon, the movie by Michael Bay, coming 2020.
The Bride of Frankenstein's monster in Kyle's body, semicolon, colon.
The movie. Yes, there we go. We have decided. We've come up with the correct answers, as usual, and created a Christmas movie in the process.
A Christmas movie destined to be a classic for all time. And anyone that disagrees, anyone that tries and be an art critic and a snob and says, "This isn't a Christmas movie. There's too many dead people." Well, you're wrong.
There's too many dead puppies.
We didn't mention that. Part of the subplot throughout the movie.
Yeah, is you murdering puppies.
It's like Shaun of the Dead. You're living your life, going to work like normal, living your ordinary life, having your relationship issues. It's like a rom-com, but in the background there's always TV reports of there's a horrible puppy serial killer running around.
But you're just like the goofy best friend who you cut to every few scenes.
I keep coming up with strange excuses not to hang out, and you keep hearing things that you think are puppies, and they keep coming up with brilliant explanations that fool you.
So yeah, I think we're going to be millionaires from this classic Christmas rom-com.
I mean, I think I'm the second we finish this podcast, I'm instantly going to go to jail.
There is that, but you didn't go to jail for Legs McBooty, so...
That's true, but that technically wasn't me murdering her. That was me not saving her. I mean, I didn't blow up the boat. If it was a Michael Bay film, it would have blown up.
It would have, even though you hadn't done anything, it would have exploded.
as me and Dennis, ironically, are on the boat.
Who became the Prime Minister at the end, by the way? Let's not forget.
I get out my phone, press a button, and suddenly the boat explodes in the background.
For no reason whatsoever. You've shown no, reason for doing this throughout the entire film.
Legs McBooty actually had a chance of surviving. She was drowning, but then she managed to hold on to a wooden door, which we all know saves you when you're drowning.
Oh, yeah. That's what you look for. In the middle of the ocean, you always look for doors.
She was about to climb to safety when I blew up the boat. So yes, I did actually murder her. I've now decided.
You have just gone on a complete murder spree this episode, and I'm very disappointed.
I really have. I'm covered in the. I mean, you were cooking in the blood of the innocent, but I was the one that's supplying it to you.
Exactly. That's how the A story and the B story combine at near the end. It's you're supplying the blood.
Yeah, it's like a TV show with an A plot and a B plot, but we're like a really good TV show where they merge together and they both mean something.
Yeah, they seem completely different all the way through, but then at the end they come together and you're like, oh my god, that's why they did that. Because everything we said today has been entirely thought through and pre-planned and scripted, and you know every episode we do.
There is a reason for everything we've done, and if you, the listener, have figured out the reason for why we've done the things we've done, please tell us, because I don't know. I don't know why I've killed so many puppies.
If you've gone through and you've pieced together our intricate puzzle and sussed out our
what are we, the Riddler? Our crime spree would be too much for Batman to figure out because it's so nonsensical and stupid. He'd be looking at the clues going, it can't be. It can't be. They can't be that stupid. It's not possible.
If you put together the first letter of every word we say in every single podcast, it will spell out our master plan. And
but would it be like when you play Beatles tracks backwards? You take all of the first letters of all the words we've said in these podcasts, then reverse them and see what they say.
The thing is, people are like, that's way too much effort and we don't believe you, so they won't do it. But genuinely, we are going to take over the world.
And I hate them. Anyone that is not willing to every single one of our episodes, write down the first word of everything we've ever said, then write them backwards, then get back in touch with us and tell us what that means, is dead to me.
Meticulously.
Even my own family that would be listening to this, if you haven't done this, you're dead to me, Nana.
Why are you so intent on death this episode? Merry Christmas, everyone. If I haven't said it before, Merry Christmas.
It's a Merry Christmas from me.
This has been If You Had To, though. I've been Kyle.
And I've been Nathan.
You have. You haven't been Nathan. You've been a bastard. If you want to find me on Twitter, you can find me at Kyle M. Bennett, which is Kyle_M_Bennett. Why you would want to after this episode, I have no idea, but you can follow me if you like.
And if you want to hear more about the lovely Christmas joy that we like to spread, you can follow me at Nowhereman, which is NAWHEREMAN at Twitter.
And you can now find us on Patreon as well, where we've actually started to put the podcasts up.
Oh, I see.
That's where people can actually listen to our nonsense.
We've finally implemented step 7 of the master plan.
Yeah. At the point of recording this, we actually have started doing something towards getting people to actually listen to this. We haven't just been putting them in a
bucket.
In a bucket and sealing them up forever.
The old podcast bucket. At this point, I'm going to need the money for my legal fund for the various criminal trials I'm about to go on.
Yeah, so please pledge, donate, give everything you can so that this puppy murdering bastard can get out of jail yet again.
If you were thinking of giving money to a charity this Christmas, rethink that and contribute to my legal fund so I can kill more innocent animals. Look inside your heart.
That's the thing, though, because they do put those adverts on at Christmas about giving money to these poor abused animals. And you're offering the exact opposite.
Are you annoyed at all these adverts asking for money to save innocent animals? Well, then contribute to me and I'll kill all the animals and you'll never have to see those adverts again.
Well, tune in to next week's episode when we'll be podcasting from prison.
I mean, I may be executed for my crimes. They might bring back the death penalty for them.
And I wouldn't blame them.
For everything I've done. Honestly, I'd if I was in the jury, I'd condemn me as well at this point. But yes, this has been. If you had to, though.
That's my line, but yeah. Merry Christmas. That's how we should end this.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Maybe next year will be better than the last, and I'll kill less people.
Oh my god.